My name is Paulo Coelho, and I am the Manager for Marketing, Communications and Public Relations at NAMCOR, Namibia's National Oil Corporation. And in my role, I basically get to see the company's overall branding, market positioning, stakeholder engagement, public relations efforts, and we ensure that NAMCOR's vision is effectively communicated to the public and all stakeholders involved. Okay, well, NAMCOR has achieved significant milestones in the last couple of years, the main one being our actual oil discoveries. Namibia has emerged as one of the most prolific underexplored frontiers in the oil and gas sector. If you look at the Orange Basin and our underexplored Lüderitz Basin, Namibia holds so much potential. The next thing that NAMCOR is doing, one of the milestones, is our infrastructure development and investment. We're investing in a lot of infrastructure to promote the sector in the downstream space and in the upstream space. And then obviously we're aligning with strategic partnerships, international companies that we've strengthened for collaboration with the international oil companies that ensure Namibia remains an attractive investment destination for the oil and gas industry. And we have exploration success. So NAMCOR is an active participant in the upstream exploration sector, especially in our key petroleum exploration license blocks. NAMCOR holds a 10% stake in all the exploration activity that's happening in and around Namibia. So many opportunities. The discoveries will open up a wealth of opportunities for Namibian businesses and key professionals. You have to look at things like service providing. The sector will require a range of services, both skilled and unskilled, from logistics to legal services to catering. It's just going to be a vibrant ecosystem of services that we need to render to the sector. There's also a lot of job creation opportunities because as the industry will grow, we will need to employ hundreds, if not thousands, of project managers, geoscientists, engineers, and everyone that supports those functions. Then obviously you want to look at things such as skills transfer with the international companies. The operators that come to Namibia will have to transfer those skills and leave them here so that Namibians can benefit from them, learn from them, and also ultimately control our own oil industry and actually make sure that we diversify everything to completely transform Namibia on a socioeconomic level. Then from an entrepreneurial point of view, because I myself am also heavily like to promote entrepreneurship, there will be a lot of new business opportunities, everything from the downstream sector to the upstream space, that will allow Namibians to actively participate in the overall value chain in the oil and gas space. Young Namibians, I'm going to tell you now, you need to get involved. You need to get proactive and you need to get involved in industry through education, training programs, training incentives, proactive engagements. NAMCOR supports the youth primarily through engagements we have with the National Youth Summit, the Youth Energy Forum, and they host various events at NAMCOR, and we always contribute with our executives and our team that's more than willing to impart knowledge. I also want to encourage students to get in touch with the Petrol Fund. The Petrol Fund assists students with sponsorships and bursaries that will or help you study within the oil and gas space. There's also graduate programs and internships that you can look at with the operators and NAMCOR in future. We also look at STEM engagements and obviously entrepreneurial support. We need to equip young Namibians with the right skills so that they can seize the opportunities and that we can ensure that they play a meaningful role in the oil and gas space. Oh, absolutely. That is a very good question. Thank you for asking. The oil and gas sector has the potential to be a major catalyst in terms of job creation in Namibia. And it's going to help with job creation and skills development, which is a big thing. So what I anticipate is to see an uptake in direct employment. As projects move forward, there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs created through the production phase. And that will include anything from engineering, construction, operations, management, and we need people to upskill themselves to be ready to seize all these opportunities. I also see a large opportunity in terms of skills transfer. The industry will, obviously the international partners will come and they'll have to facilitate the trainings of Namibians to make sure that Namibians understand how to fully maximize our oil and gas resources. And then industrial growth, that's a big thing as the industry grows because we are a nascent industry. It's new, we just discovered oil, and these things do take time. The industry will obviously have to stimulate the demand and everything around the related sector in terms of manufacturing, logistics, infrastructure development, further expanding more job opportunities, and then training and certification. People need to get trained, they need to get certified, because when you're dealing with a major international oil operator, they will look for proper certification, things like ISO standards and international certification that will allow you to benefit and participate in the industry. The big thing there is the prioritization of the local content policy that is currently being promulgated. So once we get the local content policy out, it will ensure that we prioritize Namibian employment, Namibian education, we support Namibian businesses, and obviously we need to foster skills development. That is the big thing. So we need to put Namibia and Namibians at the forefront of this local beneficiation. So we need to ensure that companies operating within the sector, that they train and hire local talent, and we need to ensure that we have talent. Then you need to encourage partnerships with local and international companies so that they can collaborate and grow, and we need to foster skills development. So what I mean with that is you won't get hired if you don't have the skill. And if you're going to judge a monkey or an elephant by its ability to climb the tree, it'll forever think it's dumb. So we need to make sure we put the right people in the right place, in the right industry. And that is something that's very important. And we need to make sure that Namibians remain at the forefront of local beneficiation and the local content policy creation. Given the magnitude of the discoveries we have and the fact that Namibia is so heavily underexplored, I think 10 to 20 years from now, Namibia has the potential of becoming the next powerhouse on the continent. We have the ability to become the next UAE, the next Norway, the next Qatar. Windhoek will be the next Dubai. We are undergoing a significant socioeconomic transformation that will benefit the country. But that being said, you also have to be mindful of things such as the Dutch disease and the resource curse that have plagued other African countries. We essentially know what not to do, and we need to make sure that we don't fall into those same traps and pitfalls. We need to drive economic diversification. If you look at how the UAE did it, Dubai was a small fishing village, and at one point oil and gas accounted for over 60% of their GDP. But through economic diversification, they invested in fintech, education, health, and now it's a business hub, it's a tourist destination. Oil and gas accounts for less than 40% of their GDP because they invested in other things. Two of the things that Namibia should look at is our sustainables and renewables and our fossil fuels. The two can coexist, but they need to feed each other. Green hydrogen can coexist with fossil fuels. Oil is here now, and that's the reality, and we need to maximize our hydrocarbons and our resources. We also need to look at the elevation of skills and innovation within the country, and just basically improve the livelihoods and just decrease our unemployment and stimulate our economy and make sure that Namibia is great. We have to remember that Namibia is really a first world country in a third world setting. Absolutely. I'd like to emphasize, and a big emphasis I would like to place, that the oil and gas industry presents a once-in-a-generation opportunity to Namibia. However, in order for us to succeed, we will have to see how well we can balance economic growth with sustainability and including local participation and long-term national development. At NAMCOR, we are committed to playing a central role and a pivotal role in the future and ensuring that Namibia's natural resources are for the benefit of all Namibians. We want to play a pivotal role in the national energy sector and the development of the industry within our country.